So, how does one get good at Mega Walls Duels? Now, Mega Walls Duels isn't the most popular game mode, of course, but if you do plan on playing Mega Walls Duels, you may want to get really good at it. And there's a strategy, a way to play to win every single game. Alright, if you get good enough at it. You may be thinking, oh, if you get good enough, you can win every single game. But this is consistent. Alright, this is consistent to play, and I will be going over how to play one of them. Alright, you may think, oh wow, but wait a minute, you can play a lot of them and still win. Yeah, but this one is special because it is consistent, has a lot of utility, and a lot of outplay potential, so you have a lot of wiggle room to try different strategies, which is why this kit, the assassin kit, is the way to win every single game. Now, the thing with this kit is that you have to have a base knowledge of PvP, but the one thing that you have to have is how to start and keep a combo. Now, you may think, oh, that's easy, but this involves W tapping and obviously aiming, as is Minecraft in general and PvP wise, because that's your main way of attacking. And what I mean by that is that it's quite easy for you to get the first hit, because in PvP, if you get the first hit, you kind of snowball and win the whole thing. So the assassin, let me show you how the assassin does that literally the best out of any single other skill. So first, let me go over his abilities. So first is his skill, which is Shadow Cloak, where he becomes invisible and gains speed and resistance. Now, you mostly use this for the invisibility, but it is nice to have sometimes when you are in the middle of a fight, because if you activate it in the middle of a fight, be sure, if you're going to activate it in the middle of a fight, be sure that you have a slight health advantage. Then you can get speed 1 and resistance. So the thing is, you can get speed, tank a hit, and resistance, and then you can tank another hit because you have resistance, you'll take less damage. But the thing is that you'll lose your invisibility. So that is the main reason why you have this. Now, Herobrine is one of the more popular kits to play against, and it's probably the one you're going to be going up against the most. And you'll see what I just did, triple! My hidden ability. Now, that hidden ability is something that is in every single champion, really? Every single kit. Is that there's always an ability that isn't shown here. And the ability that the Shadow Assassin has is OP. It's what makes him one of the best people to play, because no one knows about it. And that's it. Is that if you're crouching when you force. If you get hit while in the shadow form, if they get a lucky hit on you, you do not lose your invisibility. Keep that in mind. And if you're holding an item, you also do not lose your invisibility. Your item doesn't show, your armor doesn't show, none of it really shows.
Bruh. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
What is this? Just try to bow them down in the beginning, which you would think is weird, but what I'm trying to do is make it so that they try to bow me, so that I can do that, which is, if I'm crouching, then I gain an ability to teleport to them.
Hey, that's pretty good.
And if they hit me when I'm crouching, then boom, I teleport right behind them. And be aware that your direction does change. Like, if they're right here looking at me and I'm right here looking at them and they teleport, I'm going to teleport facing them. So just be aware that you will be changing direction. So something you have to note is that you passively regenerate energy. Like, you can see that I was already at 40 energy when I started the fight, because I was just passively doing energy. Now, something that really allows me to win there is the one thing you have to utilize is the second ability. If you get hit by merely an arrow within a 20 block radius, actually it doesn't say here because it says hidden ability, within a, you can see that I regenerate about 4 energy per second. And the thing is, if people do something like this, then they're gonna be like, oh, I can't beat him unless I throw him down. But guess what? I can legit just hit him down. But what I could really do is I can just crouch and then I'll teleport to them. So you can do this in the middle of a fight, catch them off guard. The one problem is if people know that you do this, then they can utilize it because they know exactly where you're gonna be. So what they'll do is they'll put like a wall behind them, and then you're gonna just be right there, and they're just gonna start like critting you out. But the thing is, you know exactly where they're going to be, so then you can just, you know, kill them. So you'll notice that, you know, my energy is full, and it regenerates quite quick, to be honest. But the main thing is that when you hit someone, you regenerate about 4 energy. No, wait. Okay, no. You regenerate, I think it's about 16, 15 energy. And then, so the more you hit someone, the more energy that you get. Now, a little tip about your shadow step is that the more seconds that you have on your invisibility, like when you use your invisibility, all 100, all of your experience bars go away, of course. But the more seconds that you have, for example, if you had 6 seconds left and you hit them, but you still had 6 seconds left on your invisibility, you're gonna get refunded 24 energy because 4 energy with the more seconds that you have left. So essentially, the faster that you hit them, then the more energy you have left, the more time you have to do it again. And then you can just win the entire thing. So this guy's not playing aggressively, but your most common matchup is the Herobrine matchup. It's literally the easiest matchup ever, because the thing is, he's low mobility. He's a very low mobility person, but what that pretty much wraps it up for his abilities is just make sure that when you go invisible, that you have a reason to go invisible. For example, you go invisible to run away, get a pot, and come back. Something along those lines. But the thing is, a nice little strategy to start off with is to bow them down, because then what they're gonna do is they're gonna be like, oh, this guy's gonna try to play TNT, isn't he? Oh no. Okay, I was getting a little scared at the end there. Alright. So if he hit me from this distance, I wouldn't tell him. Because, you know, I won't because I won't be in range. And so essentially another thing is that in Shadow Cloak's ability, depending on their missing health, you do an extra damage, alright, if you're in Shadow Cloak. So if they're super low, and like I know that, then like if you Shadow Cloak in the middle of a fight, that's one of the only reasons I can Shadow Cloak in the middle of a fight, is because you're just wanting to deal damage, like not because you're looking for invisibility, it's just because you want to deal damage. And like, some people just don't take the hint, they don't bow you down, and you see that he was at 7, if I remember correctly. I could have saw that wrong. He was at 7, but I went into my Shadow Cloak and I completely one-shot him because he had so much stuff like decent health. Because your extra true damage is based off of the decent health that the enemy has. Use your intuition to maximize the disorientation of people. Because the thing is, people have like, they don't know, they don't know that Shadow Step exists, so they don't know that you can teleport. He's gonna hit it, and then boom. And see, I got 3 hits on him before he could even hit me back. So, essentially, if you cannot combo, however, I would not recommend this kit. But if you can't combo, then you're not gonna be able to win every single game. So I would suggest learning how to combo, how to W tap. It's quite simple on how to W tap. The point of W tapping is to, 1, deal knockback if you're in Bed Wars or such, to get them away or into the void or whatever. But in here, you W tap to keep them at a distance where they can't hit you while you still stay at a distance. The way that the PvP mechanics work is that if you're taking knockback, your reach is negated a lot. So essentially, if you W tap and are dealing knockback to them, your reach is gonna stay the same, but theirs is completely reduced. And the thing is, if you can deal a first hit, like that's something that is in Minecraft PvP 1.8, just in general. If you get the first hit, you know how to play off that, you completely win the fight. Like, I'm not even bad. You get the first hit, you completely combo them, and you win the first fight. You just win, alright? So that's why this is so amazing, because both of the main abilities and passive allow you to get that first hit so easy. GG. I could have shadowed there and gained more extra damage, but so let me go into more detail about why this kit, above all else, is so great. And I'll explain why. Every single other kit has a weakness. These bow kits, Hunter, Skeleton, if you get within melee range, you're absolutely finished. Melee kits, if you're within range, if you're a ranged hit, then you absolutely dominate. So everything has its weaknesses, but the thing with this kit is that you can play around. You can play around every single one of them, due to the fact that you can teleport them. You can still bow them down, and then go in when they're poked down. So come on. With the bow. With the bow. And that's 6 damage instead of the double damage with the crit and the Shadow Cloak passive. So that pretty much wraps it up for the Shadow Assassin kit. Utilize its disorientative abilities and take advantage of the invisibility and teleportation capability. And thank you all, and I hope this really helped and showed you that you can win every single game